The V&A was established to inspire and to educate, and even now the early 20th century facade has got the figures and inscriptions of inspiration and knowledge flanking the doors as you come in. Around the museum you also see a capital S and a capital A intertwined. One of the founding missions was to ensure that science and art were joined together so that you could create art using the latest innovative techniques, but equally, even the most humble object was beautifully designed, beautifully made, and good design was at the heart of what the V&A was all about. The V&A was the first museum in the world to have a public restaurant, and it was in 3 refreshment rooms, commissioned from leading designers, so from William Morris, from Godfrey Sykes, and then James Gamble took over, and from Edward Poynter. So the interiors were inspirational but practical as well. Probably the most successful in the press was the Poynter room, and every detail was designed by Sir Edward Poynter. The original grille in the Poynter room was designed in 1866. Looking at the grille was a great pleasure and a privilege with Donna Stevens, who has collaborated on this fabulous restoration project. The main purpose was to recreate that magnificence of metalwork in the 19th century.
We'll give it a good brush to remove all the loose dust, and we'll put some passivating solution on the iron where there's orange rust, and then we'll wax it with this microcrystalline wax and buff it up.
Donna and I discussed the sort of appropriate techniques to use in terms of cleaning the different elements of the grille. And principally, the grille is cast iron, sand cast iron, and you also have the brass. The design elements of the grille are a wonderful case of East meets West. So you've got some quite traditional features. You've got egg and dart mouldings at the high level. You've then, at a lower level, got Tudor roses. But then there's also really interesting decoration that we think is inspired from Japan, which had opened up to Western trade in the middle of the 19th century. And here you've got these suns, and suns over water specifically, and the waves that I think might well have been influenced by Japanese art and design. It's absolutely a museum quality object, even though it's in a sense part of the fabric of the museum. But that's what's so incredible about the V&A interiors. Every detail has been designed to inspire you.
What I'm doing is the final piece of work, which is we've cleaned the ironwork by using stiff brushes, and we've applied a thin layer of a microcrystalline wax called Renaissance wax, and you put it on, you leave it to dry for a few minutes, and then you can buff it up to this quite nice soft sheen, and the wax provides some protection against fingerprints and provides some light protection against rusting, future rusting.
The darkness of the cast iron, which has now been brought to life with Donna's Renaissance wax, is contrasting with these sort of eagle heads, which are copper alloy, so they're brass. We polish the brass, and over time the brass will calm down, it'll mellow, it'll become golden. It looks to me like a mother eagle with 2 little chicks either side. And typically they've used these functional elements, the screws, which you need to attach it, as the eagle's eyes. So all the time you've got this golden brass contrasting to the dark cast iron. We made lots of discoveries, but the most exciting of all was the fact that each of these elements is separately cast. And we found all the bolts inside, so you can see how intricate this thing is. It's made up of many, many pieces. So whether we're talking about a standard traditional Tudor rose, we've got a brazier round here on the front and also round at the side, and these wonderful Japanese style suns. You can see that each element fits beautifully within the panel, so the fineness of the work and the fineness of the casting is really outstanding. This really is a very great work of art, and so it's signed and dated here at the top by Edward Poynter, EJP, 1866, so that's the date of the design. And then on this side you've got Hart & Son, who were art metalwork manufacturers who were very successful and they were based in the Strand in the centre of London. But Hart and Son would have had an incredibly challenging job translating the design into ironwork, and I'm not surprised it was reviewed at the time as very high art. It really is spectacular.